Welcome, everyone, and thanks for joining us today for the Innovation Leadership Medical and Bioinnovations Information Session. Before we get started, I would like to acknowledge that the School of Biomedical Engineering is located on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. And it's important for us to reflect and remember that we're all guests on this land. So my name is Danielle Walker. I'm a partnerships manager for the School of Biomedical Engineering, which means that I am very active in any opportunities that connect our research community, students, trainees, faculty with the outside world, whether that's the hospital ecosystem or our industry partners. And I'm going to talk a little bit before we get into the agenda as to why the School of Biomedical Engineering has decided to launch this program. So we're going to give a high-level overview and the sort of a backstory and history as to why we're developing this program. And then I'm going to dive into both of the courses, the first one on IP strategy and management, and the second one on unmet needs in healthcare, and then we'll have lots of time for Q&A at the end. So the School of Biomedical Engineering is relatively new. We were formed in 2017, and really this is our tagline. We're looking to measure biology, model it, and engineer it for human health impact. We have pretty broad research areas, but you could bucket them into cellular molecular engineering, data, computational biology, and human interfacing devices. And we really look at these health needs in the lenses of health impacts through diagnostics, therapeutics, and devices. I also wanted to highlight that we have very, very strong ties to industry, and this is one of the reasons why we were able to build out this course. So we have an industry advisory committee that's been involved since day one, from program ideation and all the way through to program development and delivery. And so this group of fantastic individuals has been pretty key in making sure that we're aligned with industry needs and trends. I also just want to highlight that the School of Biomedical Engineering is very focused on translation of our innovation. And we do this through a variety of mechanisms, one of which is our SBME Propel series, where we partner with E at UBC to help build translation fluency with our researchers. And another way we do this is our life sciences incubator, which we've named SBME Innovates. And SBME Innovates is the only wet lab incubator at UBC that supports the translation of early life science ventures out of the academia into the ecosystem. So we currently have 5 ventures that we support, and we're actually looking to expand that to up to 10 ventures in 2025 when we move into our new building. So shifting gears, why did we decide to build this micro-certificate? Well, I think it's really important to reflect on the context and that we're in at the moment. So BC, as you all probably know, is home to one of the fastest growing life sciences sectors in Canada, but we realized that an additional 65,000 jobs and workers will be needed to support the bioeconomy in the year 2029. So we proposed a solution to fill this gap, and we really wanted to work with our active industry partners to be able to identify and fill those technical and professional skill gaps and really build an industry-centered training program where those learners can really upskill in a short period of time through a micro-credential and a micro-certificate and be able to build on that translation experience. We understand that many of you have deep technical expertise. You come from, the worlds of research and health, and you're looking to expand on that with some of these more technical skills. And so from that, this is the vision, we were able to sort of parse out 2 of these skills for now, which is the IP strategy and management and the identification of unmet medical need. So through that process over the last 2 years with our industry advisory committee and other stakeholders, we've developed this program. So it's 2 10-week courses, 50 hours total, and it's $1,250 per course for domestic and $5,000 or $2,500 per course for international. And we really want to be able to help you bridge that scientific and technological expertise you have to be able to bring innovations to market, whether that's for yourself or for your organization. And again, I just want to mention that we are very thankful for the insights of our industry advisory committee. And you can see those members if you do go on our website. We have them all listed there. So very, very high level, there's 2 courses. The first one starts in October 9th, and that's focusing on intellectual property strategy and management so that you're able to protect and strategize and manage any intellectual property that arises from your innovation and your research. And the second one starts in 2025 in January, and that's addressing unmet medical needs, whether that's underserved patient populations, understanding the payer system, understanding caregivers' perspective, researchers' perspective, to be able to bring innovations into the market. So that's very, very high level. I'm going to get into a little bit more depth in a second. But our instructors are subject matter experts, our SMEs, I'll call them going forward. For the IP strategy and management course, we have Melissa Vikmarovic. She is an innovation strategy and business development advisor for Novator Ventures. She also has 10 years of experience in early stage technology and venture development. She's focused on go-to-market strategies, business development, IP, licensing, fundraising across a diversity of roles, both in academia and in the private sector. And joining her, some of you may be familiar with Ali Ardikani. He's the founder and managing director of Novator Ventures. He's a technical and entrepreneurial corporate development operations executive with over 20 years of experience in managing life science companies. And he's also the co-founder of Optico Biotherapeutics, the chair of the board of Life Sciences BC, and an entrepreneur in residence for Innovate Calgary. And then John Jafari is going to be leading the Unmet Medical Needs course. John is an entrepreneur in residence and the co-founder and chief business officer of Mesentil Therapeutics, which is actually founded by Michael Underhill, which is a professor in the SBME. And John has over 20 years experience in biotech strategic marketing, business development, and venture creation. And he played a dominant role in the creation and launch of multiple startups, including Abdera, Subset, Zucara, while he was at NMRA. So we're really thrilled and we're really lucky to have such great instructors developing and leading this course. So I'm going to go just high level, a learner evaluation. So a micro certificate is really meant for you to take it and upskill and reskill while you're doing your other tasks, your jobs, whether you're a student. And so we're focusing a lot on participation through the discussion activities, through the live session, which I'll get to in a second, and then making sure that you're, that you're understanding the material. So having these knowledge check quizzes, doing some reading assignments, and then both courses have a capstone project that wraps up in the final week, which would be an in-person/hybrid event where we're hoping to get the class together. This whole class can be done virtually, so that capstone project and that hybrid lecture will be able to access it online as well. So I'm going to dive now into the IP strategy and management, and then I'll hold for a second at the end of this for questions, and at the end we'll have lots of time for that. But focusing on the IP strategy and management course, which will start on October 9th, really it's to help you develop that IP expertise. From our industry consultations, we learned that a lot of folks don't really have a deep understanding of these principles, and that is really quite integral if you're looking to move your innovation into the market, is to be able to strategically protect your assets and understand, partnerships, commercialization, licensing, tech transfer out of UBC if that applies to you. So these are sort of the objectives of that program. And this is a very busy slide, but essentially it breaks down every week the topics and the learning activities. So you can see that we move from, the basics, what's a patent, all the way down to, understanding collaborations with potential pharma or other partners and how to manage that, how to go through clinical trials. And then one we think that's pretty, topical today is ethics and AI, especially as generative AI starts to take over. So this will be shared after the lecture as well, but that just gives you a high level breakdown of the weeks. And again, that week 10 is that blended hybrid workshop where we're going to invite a lot of those great subject matter experts that are going to lecture in each course to the workshop. It's going to be an excellent networking opportunity. A lot of these folks are IP lawyers, expert in the space. So we think this is a huge value add for you to be able to come meet with them, ask your questions, and make those connections with experts in the field. This is just a very short snapshot. I think we have about 12 different subject matter experts that will be lecturing through the course. It's about a blended format where every other week it's live and you'll be able to ask questions with these experts, have your discussion items answered, and really be able to engage with them. So these are really high level, just 4 of our fantastic subject matter experts that will be teaching in the course. You see Miranda Lem from Acuitas, Lee Johnson from Mintz, and Christine Allen, of course, from the University of Toronto, and Prashant from Greenberg. So we're really excited about the stellar lineup of subject matter experts we've compiled for this course. So high level logistics, so it's fully online, like I mentioned, with a mix of every other week going from pre-recorded lectures to bi-weekly live sessions. Those live sessions will be recorded as well, so everything can be done at your own pace. Wednesdays is the date that we've selected for those live sessions, 5:30 to 6:30 Pacific time. But again, if you need to miss one, they will be recorded, so you'll be able to access that after the fact. And then that capstone project will be hybrid. It'll be happening on campus on December 14th. And if you're unable to attend, again, it'll be blended and you can take it online. Because it's 10 weeks, expect to spend 1 to 2.5 hours per week completing all those learning activities, where the blended workshop will be about 5 hours. In terms of technology requirements, we do need you to be online with a computer and hopefully a microphone and a webcam to be able to engage fully on those live sessions. So I'm going to pause for a moment for some quick questions specific to the IP course. And I also have a couple poll questions to sort of gauge everyone's interest and capacity for taking these courses. So I'll leave you a second to think of some questions and to fill out the poll.
Yeah, I just want to, I see that it has launched, so we'll just leave that up for a moment. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you want to ask a question about the IP course, feel free to put it in the chat or unmute yourself and we can answer it live. If I don't see any questions, we can also hold them till the end and I'll move on to the unmet needs and healthcare course.
Are still responding. Thank you, Danielle. I'll count down 5, 4, 3, 2. It's great. Thanks, Danielle. Go ahead.
Awesome. Okay, no questions in the chat, so I will move on to the unmet needs in healthcare course strategy and solutions. And so this course was developed again with the input from our industry advisory committee to really be able to understand what is unmet need, to be able to recognize and address it within the healthcare system, with a big focus on underserved populations. The focus is on the challenges and the strategies to bridge the data gap for those, for equitable healthcare delivery and innovation, and then making sure that we involve multiple stakeholders, from patients and caregivers to researchers and policymakers, and then hopefully we're able to translate and apply those research discoveries to practical scenarios for effective solutions. We're really excited about this course. We're excited to help you understand how novel innovations are identified and translated, how they're brought to market, and the outside factors that really affect that delivery into the marketplace. And that last one I think is pretty topical again, which is how do governments and others react in the development of therapies in a high pressure, short turnaround situation such as the pandemic that we had. So this is, again, really busy slide, but it gives you a very high level overview of the weeks, the topics. So we're going to start again with a basic understanding of what is an unmet need, and then looking to translate those discoveries, addressing challenges, regulatory pathways and bodies, patient-centered outcomes, with a focus on digital health, pandemic preparedness, and then wrapping up with the capstone again with that blended final workshop where you'll be able to meet a lot of the subject matter experts that were involved in the course. Again, value add here, and a great time to be together with the cohort of students. Really, really quick snapshot. Like I mentioned at the beginning, really the focus is on that industry needs lens. And so we have folks from MGen and Cardium, as well as those clinicians and experts who are doing the work of building translation into our healthcare system. So we're really, again, excited about the SMEs that you'll be able to interact with. This is pretty much the same concept. They both run the same way. They're online with a combination of pre-recorded and live weekly sessions that will be recorded, so you can watch back at your own pace. And then again, I think the only change on this slide is the case study, which both courses will have heavy use of case study to understand the role of the different stakeholders and how therapies are developed and hopefully successfully launched into the market. And so with that, it's a very short info session because I wanted to leave time for questions. So I see that there is a question in the chat, so I'm going to move to the Q&A portion of this. So there seems to be a lot of reference to clinical trials in pharma. Do these courses also focus on medical devices or biotech that are not necessarily drug-based or high-class devices? Yes, definitely. I think that that's probably not captured very well in this high level. But when we say therapeutic applications, we mean we're not just talking about drugs, we're talking about devices as well. So absolutely. And I'm happy to chat offline and maybe give you a couple examples of the types of technologies or examples that we're thinking of. But yes, not just clinical trials in pharma, we're biomedical engineering. So anything that has a health impact and needs to have, is a product that can be put into the market and needs to follow a regulatory pathway, it will be covered in this course. So it's not an application process, is you just get to register. AD, maybe I'll ask you to pop that link in the chat, but definitely there's a direct link where you can register today. Awesome. And maybe one more thing I'll mention, because Aideen has a lot of expertise in this area, is the Stronger BC grant, which allows tuition subsidies for this type of training. So we have applied for this, and if successful, there would be the ability to apply for that tuition subsidy. We will provide an update when there is available. So the cohort size, so we're hoping we are keeping the size to 30 students because we do want to build, that cohort experience and that engagement factor with our lecturers. So 30 is the size. And diversity, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but it's open to everyone, internal, external, to UBC, to BC, and international as well. Is there any discount for UBC alumni? I'm not familiar, but I will defer to Aideen on that, who is from Extended Learning.
No, there's no discount for UBC alumni. And just to clarify, Danielle, I added the link for the Future Skills grant that you've applied for, just for our attendees here today to learn more about. And what we would encourage our attendees here today to subscribe to the website. As soon as we hear that the program has been approved for the grant, we will alert everybody by email. Thanks.
Thanks, Aideen. Yes, that's a good point. The mailing list will keep you up to date on any developments like the grant subsidy, or we're going to be releasing the names of, I only showed 4 for each of the courses, but we're releasing the rest of the names over the next few months if you're interested to see which subject matter experts you could be interacting and learning from. It's the second section of the course geared for some technical individuals. I would say that it would help, but honestly, this is really meant, there's no prerequisites to this course, so we're gearing it for an audience that may not have the background. So I would say, no, you can take this without prerequisites or that foundational knowledge. Great, Oscar. I took the MyTech's Eye-to-Eye skills training course a couple of years ago. I was wondering if you know if this course expands more on the topics compared to that SFU course. Just curious to know if you know that. That is a great question, Oscar, and I would be happy to take this offline. I am in touch with Ben over at that program, and I do have sort of an insight into their course. So off the top of my head, I think it'd be a little bit difficult to compare right now, but I'd be happy to take this offline and look at the curriculum. For us, I think that the differentiator is we're really focusing on the life sciences or the health sector in BC and that context, and especially the Canadian context and the BC context. So I think that that's where we would be differentiated, but literally happy to review each one and consider the value add for you. Yeah, thank you, Aideen. Yeah, this is the School of Biomedical Engineering's first micro certificate, and we're very excited to be able to offer this type of value-added training and programming to the community. So we really, really hope that you could join us. And if you have any questions or you just want to chat, please feel free to reach out. I've been working on this as a passion project for the last 2 years, so I'm happy to share any insights or answer any questions you have. And I'll just hang back on the line in case anyone has any more questions. My contact information was just put in the chat, but it is my name, last name at ubc.ca. There you go. Great. There you go. If you just have basic program information. Well, thank you everyone for taking the time. I know it's a lunchtime on a nice June afternoon, but I'm going to stay online a little bit longer if anyone has further questions or they want to unmute their microphone to chat about the course. Edine, anything else we could provide these folks while they think of questions?
I think you've given an excellent overview, and then for more specific curriculum information, you're the perfect person to go to. But for any basic program information about dates or to get updates on the Future Skills Grant and fees, etc., I would encourage them to come to us at Extended Learning, and we can assist there.
Right.
But no one, thank you to everybody for participating in the poll. It's just helpful with the planning.
Fabulous. Okay.
Yeah. So
Well,
I think I don't see any other questions. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll wrap it up and give back the rest of the afternoon. So thank you all for joining us. Again, reach out if you have any questions. We're incredibly excited to launch this program, and we hope that you can join us. So enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Take care. Bye.